And I think the winner of this match, I don't even know if they gain a huge advantage, because what do you even queue in that instance? You're just kind of waiting for your to see what your opponent's going to queue, and then try and figure it out from there to see who has an advantage. It is going to be an interesting one, though.
That is what you win, TJ. You win the right to see them go first into you.
Yes. Yep.
If you win this game, your opponent has to make this sort of judgment call of which mediocre deck they want to put into you. And then if they beat you with that, you get to counter it. And that's what you win by winning this first game.
Fair enough. Oh, killing all day. Sly smile on the face. That's a blue card right there.
They're all blue cards. But I think I know which one you mean. The really blue card.
Oh, yeah. The one that's just glowing blue with a splash of purple.
Yep. Turn 2, and Killin is looking to do something with turquoise.
There's a lot of turquoise in this.
There is a lot of turquoise. That's fair.
Okay. Nalguidan does have ways to pressure. He is playing a little bit more of a control-oriented style of the deck. He's got some like greedier choices. Vectis included. Loot Hoarder as well. Try and have that draw. Venomous Scorpion. Oh, wow, okay. I looked away to look at the Venomous Scorpion, then I came back and it was in his hand. So...
Don't do that again.
Yeah, I won't do that again. But Venomous Scorpion, a lot of great spells. Okay. Snack Run is actually pretty decent against Mage, because it's a heal, and then you can kind of rebuy, quote-unquote, with the Venomous Scorpion. But it looks like Nalguidan's going to go the pressure route and pick First Day of School. Also has that X factor of picking up 1-drops that do something else alongside of it. Talking about Prize Plunder, Gibberling, Wand Thief, Imprisoned Gnarg.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that particularly until you mentioned it earlier. So it's basically a discover, except you get to keep the other two. Sort of Font of Power, except you get to keep them all. It's kind of cool. Yeah, you get to discover these cards with effect.
Font of Power, you do keep them all.
Oh, yeah, because you build your deck that way. I remember now.
Yeah. Okay, I remember the last time I cast Font of Power and only got one thing.
You have not played any Briarthorn decks, have you?
No. But I guess Solarian Prime is like the biggest way, so. But, I mean, these are reasonable. Web Spinner could just get him another Venomous Scorpion. That's kind of cool. There's a Guardian Og Merchant. Can protect a high priority minion.
Hello?
Young Priest is probably the worst in the bunch, but also can help protect things.
I was playing that card in December, main deck in Demon Hunter for a while.
Wow.
It was the Demon Hunter that was so aggressive, you just threw like all the 1-drops in Hearthstone in there and see what happens. And for about 100 games, I played Young Priestess in that deck because it put your health totals past some key numbers that were key at the time. I think 2 health was bad and 3 health was good or something like that at the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But here, not so much, because Combustion kind of blows everything up anyway.
Yeah, but he's already played a Combustion, though. So he's not too worried about it. He's worried about, though, spells coming into the hand that are cheaper. Huge tempo plays. Oh, well. Could get just conjure Mana Biscuit and hold on to that for a bigger swing turn. That's an interesting proposition.
Do you feel that
I was going to say Oasis Ally could be a little bit of protection for Jandis.
Sure. Just going to ask, do you think that the ban of the Mage on Nalguidan is because he's talking about how good he is with Mage? He's got a great record with Mage this season, like huge win percentage with it. Do you think it's almost the opposite of a comfort ban? Like you ban, respect ban. It's a good enough deck anyway, and the guy's obviously winning with it, so just get it out of there.
Yeah, I mean, we've proven time and time again that literally nobody has ever beaten Nalguidan in his entire career with Spell Mage.
It's not far off.
No, not far off. He's 30 and 8.
26 and 9 I've got it at, but maybe I missed something. It's possible.
Oh, okay.
13-8 will do. Let's make him happy.
I've just started to play it safe and inflate it just to make Nalguidan happy in the long run.
So if he reaches the final, it'll be like 37 and 6.
Yeah. He'll get 6 wins from a 3-win series.
And it's banned.
All right. Another first day of school. There's essentially the ability for Nalguidan to play 3 of them this game, and just going to go wide again. Looking at the deck list, Killin does actually play 1 shooting star, but that can only deal with a small portion of these minions. So I don't think he's too concerned.
And in fact, I think that's the point. You get to a certain point when you get to 4 minions that 5 and 6 are kind of free in terms of opposing removal. They can't get rid of all of them, so you just keep going when you're short of flame strikes anyway.
Yeah.
And honestly, you don't mind if you get flame striked next turn because that's the whole turn and the coin gone. So you just reload with better stuff. A shambolic assortment of garbage this is that's killing all day here.
Yeah, this is awkward. Go with Jandis. I mean, Raz Frost Whisper would be just the absolute nuts here. Run back is not that good because he has only 2 minutes in the hand.
It's not good at all.
But I guess this is some tempo, right? And can brain freeze to
Yeah, I mean, it's just doing what it can.
kill this. Yep. Devolving, he's hoping to hit the value generators. Nope, but it does take some power off board. So overall, I think, solid turn there. Utilizing the brain freeze spell burst from the Glacial Racer. Actually has a decent amount of power on board. Has a good reload in hand with Arcane Intellect plus a corrupted ring toss now.
Yeah, that board
I
went
think
from
Killin's in an okay spot.
fighting force into it now looks like my Hearthstone GM fantasy team. There's Tyler in slot 3. And that was a damaging turn from Killin.
Yeah. Nalguidan can reload with the Vectus here. Oh yeah. Look at that value. Gets Web Spinner and Loot Hoarder. Draws more cards, put more cards into his hand, and with the animated broomstick to end this turn, can full clear. And end with more resources.
Yeah, and I always keep an eye on the hand sizes in these games to see who's get a very easy, quick glance at who's winning. Obviously, it's my job to actually look at the cards as well. But every turn it looks like Nalguidan has more cards, and every turn it looks like Killin has fewer cards, and that's a pretty good guide as to who's doing all the removing and panicking and having trouble.
Yeah, the one thing that Nalguidan's struggling with is his ability to get Librams going. Does have Carol Roam, but no Libram discounts outside of the one Alder Attendant that's in hand and has not been played yet. But there's plenty of time. It feels like a lot of cards have been played and killed this game thus far, but we're only on turn 6. That's just the first day of school effect.
Yeah, it really does do that to you. Pretty ridiculously. Obviously, Killin is low enough now that he needs to perpetually be on guard. He doesn't want his health totals to get much lower. So he's being forced to clean up things he doesn't want to clean up. He wants to play that Arcane Intellect that's just been sat there for ages, that he's just not been allowed to play at all. But no Arcane Intellect for you for some time. I take the hit with a Carrier Roam by the look of it. Get this over with.
Yep.
For the Alliance and my family.
Not a terrible situation to be in. Overall, Killin's probably happy that there wasn't a ton of development that turn.
Absolutely, but it brings the Librams online now as well, so that reduction is a big deal. Interesting to see if he waits until he's been damaged before playing them, or if he.
Oh, rigged fair game is the nuts here. Right, because he can't attack.
Sure.
Oh wait, Neil.
Yeah.
The Oasis Thresher. Can he activate it?
I don't know.
I don't know why I'm whispering.
No, it's keep doing it. It's great. So
Can't really find any direct damage without like overextending onto the board, like Consecration. Rally, Avenge. I honestly don't know. Avenge might make killinallday have to respect the possibility of Oh My Yogg, which could make him play like a less efficient turn. So I think just the ability for that to disrupt is worth it in this scenario. But by the looks of it, Killen will draw the cards from Rigged Fair Game, which is a pretty big deal.
it absolutely is. And I think Nalguidan is just sticking down as much stuff as he can because of mask.
Yep.
It's like, okay, well, you want to mask me? Honestly, some of this stuff might live, it might not, but it'll take the damage away from my face. So either way, I'm kind of happy because I want to play my Librams, but I'm not going to do it until I heal fully. I think is his plan as well, or at least more than 5. And Killen organising a victory from here is actually quite hard work. There's just way too much good stuff going on Nalguidan's side of the board.
He does have the one discount from the encounters flow, but honestly, that because he's been playing from behind and kind of having to play the board control game the entire game, that doesn't feel like enough. Usually you need to utilize that to get ahead and then start throwing burn spells. But it's just gone so wide here that it's tough for Killen to really get much of anything done each turn, except for remove most of the board, and then Nalguidan just reloads, pushes a tiny bit of damage, and then you're in this perpetual state of Nalguidan being slightly ahead.
Yeah, a mage is not good at AoE when it's this much stuff that needs removing.
Yeah.
Your shooting stars and stuff of this world are just not...
Oh! Oh!
I mean, there's a long way to go in this game, but this feels almost like a concede. You've got to make the play. I don't even think it's wrong, but it feels like, okay, I'm continuing to play the game, but really I feel like I've lost now. There is no Alexstrasza in this particular kind of paladin these days, so he's going to have to find the old-fashioned way of doing damage, which is with your cards, not just shoot you for 8 for no reason.
Yep, but he's got a lot of cards to be able to do it. A couple of 8/8s that also heal is a good start.
Yeah, and you can devolve this if you like, but it's still going to be a 5-drop, or 6-drop even. That's how numbers work.
6-drop, so. Yeah. Yeah, he's got to find a little bit of extra oomph.
Does he have to devolve Hope and Apexis here? I just hope he can kill it.
Yeah, you can find spell damage to help kill it a little bit easier.
Okay.
All right.
Gets it.
Worked out. Also, Jailer is reasonably sized.
Oh no. Broom has to be amazing for him though. Now the question here I'm going to pose is, does he want to heal for 8 when he's on 30?
No. I think he wants to get the Libram of Judgment online, honestly, to start putting the pressure on killinallday. It's expensive. It's 6 mana, and he doesn't have much to do elsewhere. Like, it would be taking the damage from the Fellsoul Jailer. But he's at least going to consider it and what it means. Like, putting Killen on a 3-turn clock, it's also corrupted, which means even though the healing would be wasted this turn, it's even more healing for Killen to have to get through in order to push through for the win.
There's other plays available to him, though, with the Broomstick and the Talion and the Libram of Hope. And interesting.
Okay.
When I asked you this question, I expected the answer no, and I was going to agree with you. But this is what he's gone with.
Okay.
Problem isn't clearing the board. The problem is clearing the board in such a manner that you don't just run out of stuff. Like Flame Strike Fireball, the 8/8's fine, but ugh. How do you win the game then?
Got the last cards in the deck. Dylan still has a Wound Orb and a Pex's Blast as burn damage. But that doesn't feel like much. Prison Phoenix will make it go slightly further. But now's when the clock starts. I don't know. Maybe Nalguidan's going to wait for him to take damage now that he's out of healing. Talon Forging will draw the Lady Liadrin because Murgur McGurgle has not been played.
It feels like every card, and this goes back to last turn as well, he doesn't want to play yet. But you can't not play anything because you're trying to find the killing blow. So he's stuck in this weird position the last couple of turns. When he made the decision, like you pointed out, when he made the decision to play the Libram, the healing last turn, that's when he said he can't play the weapon for a while because he's going to need to heal with something.
Yeah.
That's why he's now got this kind of awkward turn this turn around.
Yeah, and there are no devolving missiles left for killing. So this is actually a guaranteed pickup on Lady Liadrin at some point, which will bring back both Libram of Hopes.
Yeah, and then it's kind of GG-ish, and that may have been in his mind when he played the previous Libram of Hope last turn.
Yeah, Killen almost has to just like throw everything face, ignore this, and then hope that he finds lethal the following turn. Because next turn can be the Lady Liadrin turn, and the following turn after that would be...
It missed! 12 shots. And scored with 3 of them. The life of an Arsenal fan.
I know enough to know that was hilarious.
Good man, good man.
Devolving? Nope. Okay, last cards in the deck are Primordial Studies and Arcane Intellect. Nalguidan has to kill this, but he can go Libram of... or could kill with Crab Rider and then Libram of Judgment the face. Or do it with Fishy Flyer and then Libram of Judgment the face.
Yep. I think it
now,
to win this now.
So he knows that that's the last healing, right? He's at 28. Can he deal 28 over 2 turns?
Has he even got 20?
That's the big question.
I mean, he's only just about got that, right? 11, 21, 22. He might have to generate damage to actually be able to do. He's going to have to get some minion damage to get that in as well. Okay. Start.
Is there like a Pex's Blast the Fishy Flyer to try and get minion damage in?
Oh, it's so terrifying.
Time runs out on me.
What did you say the last card was?
Primordial Studies.
Oh, he can get a Solarium Prime.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna die before it gets shuffled in. He'd have to kill it off himself. Because that'll be his last card. He's gonna go into fatigue. He's gonna be at 1 next turn. So we'd have to play it and then kill it.
Do try to keep yourselves alive.
What if he had to ring toss here, actually, to... to get Ice Barrier? But then he's not doing anything, so it doesn't really help.
Yeah. That was, I mean, obviously very tough. So now it has to be... From this Primordial Studies, it has to be Solarian Prime, and he didn't... Or Solarian, then he has to kill it off and clear the board?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So he needs Ice Barrier from the Ring Toss and to kill this off. So he can Apexis Blast it?
Yeah, maybe he gets a taunt. That doesn't help. Yes, it does. Depending on the taunt.
Wait, no, he can't do this. The first he needs to see if he gets Ice Barrier.
Nope.
Okay,
Yep.
he got it. He also has to kill the Lord Barov. Nope, he's dead.
He tried.
Wait, what? He just says lethal on board.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out what
11 damage.
it is. Ice Barrier puts him on 9. Is there? I'm not.
Yeah, he's got 9. He's got 11 damage.
And his opponent isn't a hunter.
Am I crazy here?
No. What mage secret are we forgetting, TJ? Ice block.
How much armor does he think Ice Barrier is?
16,000.
Holy moly. Okay, thank you. Jesus. Wow. All right, he got there.
The guy, now he's had his mage ban, he's just forgotten everything that's in mage. He doesn't know how to do it anymore. The 39-4 record just isn't a thing. He just had one of those moments.
Yeah, I mean, we all have those moments sometimes. Kind of a creative out there from Killen to try and survive. If the Apexis Blast did get a rush minion or a taunt, right? It would have to be a rush minion that had enough damage to kill a Lord Barov or a taunt in that state, and even a taunt may not have done it. So that he could have drawn Slayer Prime the next turn and maybe like generated stuff or ended the game. Still difficult situation to be in. But Nalguidan gets the 1-0 lead in the series with the win with the Paladin. And so he gets to be the one that kind of dictates how these counter matchups are going to work. killinallday does have the OTK Demon Hunter as well as Warlock left. I imagine we're going to be seeing Demon Hunter in this next game. I think that Nalguidan, especially not playing secrets, not playing as much early game pressure cards, and playing more greedy stuff in the list is going to be at even further disadvantage than say like a normal Secret Libra Paladin. But
yeah,
we shall see.
We shall see indeed. I mean, the big one that they're both trying to either set up or avoid is Priest and Warlock. Killing absolutely trying to set that up. Nalguidan actually desperately trying to avoid that. So I don't think we'll see the Warlock queued, because if it loses, then the Priest kind of... It doesn't run riot, obviously, because I think Priest against Demon Hunter is closer than he gets credit for, but just needs that Warlock out of the way. He'll do everything he can to avoid that happening. And Killen knows this, so he's going to queue the Demon Hunter to avoid queuing that Warlock up into a potential loss.
Yep, so ideally he wins with the OTK Demon Hunter here, then Nalguidan queues Priest, then he loses to the Priest with OTK Demon Hunter, because I feel like Killen's just avoided the Mind Render Lucia for too long at this point.
Yep.
And then And then he has to win an unfavorable at some point with Warlock. He beats Warlock versus Priest and then goes Warlock versus Druid, which is possible, but very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you've got enough removal in Warlock to sometimes win that. So, all in all, Killing in a pretty bad spot, but he's already had, a great week. It's not just extra points at this point. He really does need these. But here we go. 9-2 this week because of how Last Hero works. Killing. So this is the deck that's been carrying him. And it does also mean he's only won, I think, one game with anything else all week. So it should be no surprise he lost that first game, really.
Yikes. Doesn't bode well for his Warlock, huh? We'll see.
Need it.
Yeah, he doesn't. Hasn't needed it. Will never need it. Haven't needed Warlock a day in my life.
He literally has only won one other game all week with anything other than Demon Hunter, by the way.
All right. Well, there you go.
So he needs to get this done, and he's looked very good on it. How's he?
Well, yeah, he's had to, apparently.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't lost that many games either. He's just queued this up and swept people with it, kind of.
Okay. All right. That's what I like to hear.
He's been doing good. He's been doing good.
Let's get into it. Nalguidan got one drop into Hand of Vidal. Rest of the hand, poo-poo. And that one drop's not the one drop you want because it's not going to stick because Demon Hunter just has a 1 mana hero power. All right, Loot Hoarders is a non-card play. From Killer's perspective, he's got double Illidari Studies, he's got Throglaive to make room for, or to try and buy him some time against pretty much any board. This is a decent hand. It's very flexible because of the double Illidari Studies. He can kind of craft a game plan from what he picks up from those.
Yeah, and also, obviously, the Paladin having this very slow start, giving Killing all the maneuverability he wants, so he can just take his time for those studies, so that when he casts them, he can play the thing he finds the turn he casts them, if the game carries on like this with Nalguidan just finding absolutely nothing.
Okay, Venomous Scorpion. Help find some direction. I don't even know. Gift of Luminance, maybe?
I mean, that's the better card than the others, so I guess. He's probably trying to work out how Reckoning works.
Just never going to do anything
in this point in the combo does it blow the things up and does it stop me dying? It doesn't.
Never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs to at least give that some attention just in case it's an interaction.
Yeah.
He probably needs to just work it out to make sure, right? That's what I would be doing here. Does it do 316s or does it do a straight 48? Who's doing the...
Or, he's already chosen which spell he wants, but he's still just trying to make sure he knows how much armor Ice Barrier is. All right, I did him a favor. I talked up his mage all weekend long. I deserved that one.
I think it's fair. I feel that he's been a lot more... I mean, this isn't the right time to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up in the interest in fairness now. I think he's been a lot more stable this season, he's getting better results, and I feel that might be in part due to having so much LATAM around him, sort of also pushing him.
Yeah.
This tournament format, he's a very experienced player with a history of maybe not getting it done right at the end, for me. And I feel that getting to play a tournament every week has sharpened him up in that regard.
It can definitely do that. We'll have to see if he can put up some results at Masters Tours as well.
That would be nice.
Which I believe he has, right? I think he was in a situation where he would have earned his spot back to avoid relegation in a previous season.
Yep, absolutely.
So, not that that's performing well in a Masters Tour for Americas, but,
Turning Up's performing pretty well.
Yeah, a couple of top 64s here and there, you're good to go. All right, so Killen trying to make space on this side of his hand for the Skull of Gul'dan. Can play it as early as next turn because he can dump all of this stuff, including the throw glaive. I wonder if he wants to play it a little bit slower and, like, say, play throw glaive 3 times this turn to clear off the board, and then Immolation Aura to deal with the follow-up, or if he does just want to take his skull for next turn and just throw away the throw glaives and play the Immolation Aura. Gives him less options to remove in the future, but it does mean that he gets to draw those cards faster.
I would get rid of the cards because the follow-up's often a 4-6 here. But he's going to go with the... Nope.
Okay,
He's going to
dumping him. Yep.
Because quite often here, your opponent just plays a 4-6. You haven't seen a first day. You've got no reason to believe that your opponent has a good hand because they've taken ages. So yeah, I'd be absolutely looking to skull here.
All right, Vectis, he did have a Loot Hoarder die early on, so Vectis will do the Loot Hoarder plus just a 1/1. I mean, it's about as big of a board as he can build. Also has that card draw built in. Needs to kind of put on some pressure as we head into the Skull turn.
Whoa, TJ! The stuff is there.
Yikes. All right, just need an Il'gynoth and we're cooking.
So he's got to draw 15 more cards and that will be the end of the game. Because we all know that Il'gynoth has the card text. This card starts on the bottom of your deck and always gets shuffled to the bottom of your deck throughout the game. Unless you keep a skull in the second position in your mulligan, in which case it will start on the left of your hand.
Maybe for you. I mean, this is a good amount
wrong.
of damage.
Yeah, it's chunky, but it never matters. But it is indeed. Obviously, it matters. But you know what I mean? He just gets healed at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, still a good amount of outcast. Actually, no. He's played both I-beams. He's got double special sight in hand, so he's got double philosophy and then 1 skull.
These are real 0 drop Moags as well, so he just literally has to stay alive and rifle through his deck as quickly as he can. Which is what it always has to do, except this time, like, we now know it is set. He wins the game if he just stays alive for 11 more card draws, which is like 3.
Yep.
Also this turn, he's sort of shoved the Spectral to the left just in case. I don't think he wants to have to do it that way because he'd rather not play the Talented Arcanist, but an option to go a bit quicker if he needs to at any point.
Yep. There's still a bunch of other cycle left in the deck as well. Double Chaos Strike, another Skull, Blood Mage Thanos, another double jump, which at this point would pick up the next Skull because this is the only outcast card left in the deck.
And look at Nalguidan's hand. Like, he can't apply pressure. There's just nothing pressury in his hand to do.
Nope.
So, looking really good for Killin to pick up his 10th win of the week on the same deck.
This is not what we stood for.
Yay, I'll put a Divine Shield in the way of your combo that kills me with no minions. Great. Yeah, just draw some cards.
All right.
Some more
And
cards.
another one. Oh, okay. He's going to ditch the Talented Arcanist. Still has 1 left in the deck, and he's not under a significant amount of pressure. So,
yeah,
not a big deal.
And he knows that Il'gynoth is the bottom card because it always is. So you'll draw the other Arcanist before the Il'gynoth anyway.
Yep. Now, doesn't even need the Talented Arcanist because Il'gynoth 3 free Moargs actually could play 4, which doubles it to 2. And
Moarg the merrier.
Doubles it to 8, and then he can play Fellscream Blast once on the opposing minions and once on his own because he's got 2. He's got enough mana for that. So Il'gynoth still lethal, assuming Nalguidan plays something that Killin can actually target with a Fellscream Blast. I think it still might be lethal even beyond that as well.
And if he doesn't
because he could
play
target
something,
the left side of his hand or his board or something along that side. Something along those lines.
oh, like set it up right so he does 2 on his own side. But also, if Nalguidan doesn't play something, then he doesn't win this game anyway. So
Yeah. Well, Divine Shield is good.
yep.
Il'gynoth's still lethal. With that talented Arcanist, though, he can part ways with a Fellscream Blast and Moarg. Left in his deck, he still has Il'gynoth, Skull, Raging Fellscreamer, Aldraki Warblades, Blood Mage, Thalnos.
Demons?
Actually, not ideal. I feel like this is a solved win, but it's not the easiest one. He needs to just make sure he doesn't get it wrong.
Well, I mean, there's some lethal outs for Nalguidan here, right? If Killen doesn't at least get rid of some of this stuff.
Yep.
So he can part ways now with, he can go like Raging Fellscreamer, 2 mana Moarg, and then play the free Fellscream Blast that heal him to 4.
Time grows short.
Or could go double Moarg,
Yeah, I prefer that.
Patient.
and then Fellscream Blast. Or,
Oh, he's going to play this for free. Yeah, he's going to play double mark, but he's going to play the expensive one. That can't be right. That turn cannot be right.
oh, that is close. That is real close. It's 11 on board. Consecration is 13. Libra of Wisdom 14. Venomous Scorpion, if that finds Blessing of Kings, still not enough.
Whew. I think the second you reach that conclusion, you play the Scorpid. Like, if you haven't got lethal, play the Scorpid and see what you find. Because you've got lethal, super lethal next turn in so many ways. But you probably don't have a next turn, so you've got to...
I'm going to throw the book at you.
Ooh.
I mean, it has to be Il'gynoth here. Oh! The 1 in 5.
Gets it.
Did he actually have enough mana with double jump? Double jump into Skull, that would have been 7 mana. Il'gynoth would have been 1. He had 3 Moargs.
And they were all 0. They'd all been copied or...
Nah, he wouldn't have been able to play the Talented Arcanist, so it would have been 2, 4, 6. It would have been 18. So no, he wouldn't have had enough mana. So it did actually just need to be Il'gynoth in that game. So a little bit scary for Killen, right? Looked like a kind of like this automatic win situation for him. But Il'gynoth has eluded multiple players today, and yet we're still seeing OTK Demon Hunters find wins. So very impressive. Nicely done. And now we're probably going to see Nalguidan. Well,
Yeah.
he probably moved to the Priest. I was going to say, Tokajord has good matchups against both the decks that are left remaining. But he doesn't want to run to a situation where he's left with Priest to try and beat Warlock as like a last potential counter
Right.
queue.
You try and set up your
Do it this way.
Druid versus the Warlock as game 5, right? Even from this distance, even though it's 1-all. The beauty of Last Hero Standing is you have some element of trying to get the matchup to go your way. So play the Priest, try to beat the Demon Hunter, and we get to play our favourite game. And then...
What's our favorite game?
6 degrees.
6 degrees from Mindrender Lucia? Oh, yeah. How can we get there? Nalguidan, no insights, so it's he doesn't have like as good of ways as we saw Dreadeye yesterday, but he does have double Ogremancer, does have double Onyx Mage Scribe. Ooze can sometimes be okay, right? It's like a temple minion that can get rid of a little bit of damage plus a little bit of healing. So maybe
a little bit of healing in my priest.
Maybe you get there. Yeah, but overall, still, it's a tough matchup if you can't find Mindrender or Lucia. And even sometimes with Mindrender or Lucia, sometimes you can, because it has so much redundancy, if you're not hitting exactly Il'gynoth, then they can still piece together a win. But a lot of times you can dump enough stuff, especially since they're not like dumping cards from their hand, in order to win. killinallday's been dodging Mindrender Lucia for days, if not weeks, at this point. And I feel like we just haven't seen one in Priest. I feel like this has to be the game that it just actually happens, and then we get to talk about timing and not how Priest tries to build up a big enough board. Okay, it doesn't matter right now, but finds Ogremancer.
We've talked about it 2 or 3 times already. Sottle and Raven have done it at least once, and Lucia just has not turned up. I'm starting to think the answer is that nothing ever finds Lucia, ever. And
Yeah, except natural draw.
Not even that. Just nothing. It's not there.
All right, well, we'll see about that. Okay, there's Insight. I expect that to be the choice. It absolutely is. A nice, easy Corrupt as well with the palm reading. I mean, Killen's like a Moarg and a bunch of mana away from lethal.
Yeah, just don't find a Lucia for 8 turns and die on the spot.
Yeah.
So you don't want to Insight now. You want to save the Insight until you have drawn as many minions as possible, because then you've got more chance of getting the Lucia. That's it. That's the play. That's the cast. We need a new game, TJ.
Sometimes you could stick Ogremancer, right? And make it huge and force combo pieces out. It's rare, but it happens.
Idol of Yashaj can find a Lucia which can die and you can raise dead it.
Too expensive. Too much time. Doesn't come till minimum turn 9. I guess it's not too much time, right? That could still happen. Can Auspicious Spirits provide any type of disruption? Like if you get a 4-cost minion, you can get like Injured Marauder. Is that in standard? That's in standard for sure. I've seen it before.
I've seen lots of things, but they're not all in standard.
Goes with Power Infusion. Again, like his only minion right now, I guess he'll have a minion from Insight, is the Ogremancer. So looking for a way to just make that thing huge, try and put as much disruption on. Killing just emptying cards because he wants to be able to just play outcast cards that come off the top and not have to worry about any of the ramifications. And then I imagine this is going to be a coin Ogremancer turn from Nalguidan. Still no rush to play the Insight, because still no rush to play Mindrender or Lucia, even if you were to find it.
Now, this is the point of the Power Infusion. He's just going to try and make this Ogremancer the world's biggest Ogremancer and try and trick the casters into making us think that he might get there via damage.
My favorite trick. I mean, an Immolation Aura has been used, right? So that is actually a big deal.
Job's done.
Because this Ogremancer is huge. And with Killen just kind of dumping the oh, he hits Skull! Oh man, if he hits a Moarg here, the game just ends.
I'm just going to keep doubling down on he can't die, even when he got to like -3 health. Like, no, he's still there.
Okay, well, he didn't hit a Moarg, and now he can't even dump a card. Oh yeah, he can't dump Philosophy because he didn't hit Moarg. All right.
Taking some damage, to be fair.
I think he's going to die.
I think he actually might. Joking aside, I think he actually might, but I refuse to believe it. But really, this is like a lot.
I joked before about how, this hand, he's just like a Moarg away from lethal and a bunch of mana. But that's actually a terrible hand to have.
Right, yeah. Like the old Freeze Mage, if you kept the combo parts, you were stupid, because you spent the whole game getting them and thinning your deck with your card draw.
Yeah.
He's dead next turn, unless he does something.
Well, he can heal a lot this turn. He can get a +3 spell damage Fellscream Blast, so it can heal up to 12. Has 7 mana. No, there's not enough mana yet to really do anything.
What's going on? That Power Infusion was a good pick, by the way. Give Nalguidan his credit here. This is it's a very bad Plan B usually, but this Plan B might actually get there. It was better than Plan Z, or Z. Sorry, forgetting my regions. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's got to part ways with maybe I-Beam and Fellscream Blast here. Oh. Okay. Immolation Aura? Alright.
Rope's going, the cards are going everywhere.
Did he also get... Okay, that's not a discount at all, Draki Warblades. But Nalguidan is 4 damage off lethal? Or Mind Render? Nope. Another Ogremmancer, though.
Sure.
And is that lethal next turn for Killen? No, he still doesn't have a Moarg. But he has double Talented Arcanist. One of them's free. So he can go Il'gynoth, Talented Arcanist, Ethereal Aug Merchant, and Talented Arcanist. That's +5 spell damage. So it's only 18.
On the other side, I think that the insight was actually a mistake here personally, but maybe he feels he had a chance to win on the spot because he could have Mage Scribed into Raised Dead. I guess that's fine. He can do that anyway. Might not want to take the 3 though. So he'll just do that next turn.
Well, this Ogremmancer has Apotheosis on it. Doesn't matter if he takes the 3. He heals. He's back at 30 regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Killen's still in some trouble. Moarg? Okay. No, that's only 18. Wait, no. Because that's +4 spell damage. So it's Il'gynoth, Ethereal Aug Merchant, Moarg, Talented Arcanist, and Fellscream Blast. That's +3 spell damage.
Demons.
Double once now. It's only 18.
Demons.
I changed my mind. I think Nalguidan was right to try and find Elucia that turn because if he hits it, he saves the game. He wins the game. He locks it out.
So Killen's got to go Philosophy,
Demons. Demons.
Moarg, Blood Mage Thalnos, Talented Arcanist. That's +3 spell damage doubled. That's 12.
And it's minus a lot of useful cards as well. I know you can afford to do that with this deck to some degree, but it's he is going to be taking a lot more time now to get through this. There must be lethal outs here as well.
For Nalguidan?
Yeah, he's got the Psyche Spirit. I guess there's only 1.
He needs 8 damage as Priest.
He's 7 points of buffs, and he's got Death Egg in hand.
Okay, that's way too many.
Okay.
A lot of these are minions, so he couldn't even chain Power Word Fortitudes.
Sure. Right, well, with that in mind, it's Insight then. Ready for next turn, if there is such a thing.
At this point, he just needs to kind of clean things up and then again pressure. Because killinallday, he's shown that he can't kill this Ogremmancer, right? And he's got to find ways to win next turn. Let's count Killen's damage. He does have enough mana to play all this, so a +5 spell damage I-Beam doubled once.
Killing's hit the double jump.
Is 16. Nope.
Does the double jump give him the skull?
No. No. It could, but it's not guaranteed. It could also hit double spectral sight. He doesn't even have any immolation auras left.
Details.
So I think he's just dead.
Actually, never going to see an Lucio, are we? Ever.
Nope.
Demon.
Just doesn't exist.
Perhaps it doesn't. Perhaps that was the nerf. It was a stealth nerf. Where you never actually draw it, ever.
Time grows short.
That would be popular with the community, I think.
It's deader than dead. Dead, dead, dead. Nalguidan takes the dub. As expected, right? Showing the Ogremancer to be quite the powerful tool against killinallday. And killinallday did throw out the immolation aura quite early just to dump it from his hand. Obviously, he was trying to make room on that side of his hand since, I mean, it's incredibly awkward opening hand. He can never cast a skull from the left side. He can never dump enough cards. So he has to empty cards as they come in hand on the right side. So that way he has enough hand space to even cast a skull when he gets it, which is very awkward. So I don't blame him for going for that immolation aura early on, but it did leave him in this spot where he could just never fully deal with a wide board and never give himself 2 turns of wiggle room. And Nalguidan did do a good job of just riding home the pressure, right? Not trying, realizing that killinallday was struggling to kill the Ogremancer, said he didn't have to do anything fancy. He just had to keep placing things on the board. And eventually, Killin just gassed out. Couldn't find the second Fellscreen Blast after he had to use the first one to heal. And died. So that's why that, one of the reasons, not the main reason, why that matchup is favored for the Priest. But now Killin gets to go into one of the most one-sided matchups, in my opinion, in Hearthstone right now. There's not that many one-sided matchups, but Control Warlock, especially one that's built like this, versus Priest, I do believe is quite one-sided.
When you say it's built like this, what's different in particular? That looks reasonably standard to me, but...
well, I mean, there was a lot of Warlocks for many weeks that were built without Yasharaj,
right,
without Strongman, trying to be more anti-aggro.
But now aggro has gone.
Vled's done it like every week. It's last year standing, so you're not going to play your Warlock into aggro decks, so you can afford to build it greedy like this. So yeah, this is pretty standard for what last year's standing has offered. But we've definitely seen some less greedy Warlocks throughout the past couple weeks.
Got you.
At least as far as builds go. Oftentimes, though, Lord Jaraxxus and a single Ticketus is all you need. Sometimes the rest can be overkill, but it does just help smooth out the matchup and give you a little bit of insurance in the late game. Malygos can be a liability at times in this matchup. It's great against Mage because you get to pull the Soul Fragments out and heal. Against Priest, it has its spot at certain points in the matchup, but definitely not a kind of play it as soon as I get it to pull all the Soul Fragments out of my deck and heal for a million kind of card.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the Priest is the aggro in this matchup, which is why it's such a one-sided matchup in favour of the Warlock, because the Priest isn't built to be an aggro deck. But as we've just seen, even in different circumstances, the Priest can just get rumbling sometimes. And against the Warlock, you're looking more for those Psyche splits and Draconic Studies, get a cheap big Dragon, a cheap Ysera, or maybe go wide with Psyche splits and give the Warlock too much to worry about. But in general, your first port of call is to try and snipe the Ticketus before it gets corrupted with a Mind Render. But that comes off surprisingly infrequently.
Yeah, what you need to do is just find as much late game value as possible to try and make sure that you can kill 100 6/6s.
That's the problem, right? That's the really tedious way you go down as priest, and it's the most common as well. It's the one where you do battle with your friend, and you do battle with their 6/6s for turn after turn and slowly deplete your resources because you can't quite deal with them. But you've got so much removal, you can almost deal with them, so you can't concede. And then we start playing caster games.
I love caster games. Ticket is kept in the opening hand. Quite obviously, one of the best cards in the matchup. Does need a way to corrupt it, but it's got plenty of time to be able to find it.
Now he's got a little bit less time to find the corrupt because now he has to do it before he gets Luciad. But if he does do it before he gets Luciad, then the Luciad becomes completely irrelevant.
Yeah,
Very nearly.
I mean, he has until 9 to find it, unless Nalguidan holds on to the coin, which is possible, but
I think you do.
Pretty rare for that to happen.
I think you actually do. When you've got the Elusia, I think keeping the coin's correct. I might be shown to be a liar in a moment, but
I guess
until they've
it just feels like he's going to take too much damage in the meantime, or not really be able to pressure. But maybe I'm wrong.
I'll be interested.
Already has strongman, so it will be irrelevant.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll get that out as soon as possible, just for the threat of Mind Render or Lucia.
Yeah, just a reminder of what I said a moment ago. As soon as it's being corrupted, the Elusia doesn't matter, no matter if the ticket is still there or not.
Yeah, because it will. The effect remains the same, right? You're still destroying cards from the priest deck since you're swapping decks. It's just now you're getting to watch the cards from the opposite side of the game board instead of on your own side. And you have the agency, right? Sometimes it can feel better when you burn your deck if you're the one who's choosing to burn the deck instead of somebody else. It's a matter of control. Yeah.
You didn't burn my deck. It's fine. I chose to burn my deck.
Yeah.
Yep, I like that. I like that attitude. Very childish attitude by which I've lived most of my life.
As have I.
And that's why we're in this position today, TJ.
Do need to make sure you don't fall too far behind as the Warlock in this matchup. Biggest thing is just having a safe turn to play Jiraxis at some point. Can sometimes be difficult. Most of the time it's easy. And you need to find it. The earlier Jiraxis can come out, the more 6/6s the priest has to deal with, the smoother the game becomes.
And this is a way that Nalguidan can win this. So, assuming these die, but it takes Killin's whole turn to kill them in a approximation. Next turn can raise dead, play them both, start to try and psyche split, maybe get rolling with, pretend to be a miracle priest with only 6 of the cards, and see what you can do. It doesn't get there very often, but it's one of the ways. Yeah, we're looking at 15%. You need 5% ways to get there, and this is one of them.
It's just a nice school spirits to kind of clean these up, though. And sure, yes, it takes Killin's turn, but honestly, there's not much else he would be doing on the turn outside of like Ogremancer. And even if he had it, he'd be going for this anyway. So, crisis averted.
At least this particular time.
Yep.
And this is a really annoying minion to deal with this Scorpid.
Yep, you need to find a way to deal 1 damage. Impossible. Priest just can't do it.
It's just not what they're built to do. They can deal lots of damage or no damage, and the answer is usually no damage. And without using a minion,
What these Eloons will.
Holy Smite's about it. There's a few ways.
Well, I mean, he could be looking at a way in this palm reading. We can't see it. Apologies for that. Finds Holy Smite. Okay. And now gets to reboot a Sethic. Holy Smite. Board is his.
Next turn, Sethic, Psyche split. In theory, in the ideal world.
Sure. I mean, Killen really wants to shut off this value of the Sethic, but is it worth the Siphon Soul, and is it worth foregoing a life tap in order to get there? That's the biggest thing. Also, he knows that there's a discovered dragon in the hand. Very Onyx Mage Scribe is target number 1. No matter what it is, Siphon Soul is gonna have some good targets.
All
right, he's going for it.
Yeah. Like, the other side of it is, if I play Strongman next turn, I might well just win the game and the rest becomes a lot less relevant as long as I don't lose the board. And look at the hand. That hand shouldn't lose the board too tragically. It might lose it a little bit, but it shouldn't be disastrous. So
Do not confine yourself to
this turn pretty much has to be 100% Strongman. Oh, that's Sociologist? Oh! All right, that's just the nuts.
Yep.
And it is juiced. It's, I mean, it is fully juiced actually because he didn't even have the board space to do anything else. So that is perfect. So now he gets a safe Ticketus with board control on the other side. Has Yashraj already to follow up with another Ticketus and a huge, another big blast onto the board, and just needs Jiraxis now as a means to have those recurring threats. So
yeah, and
I
the
think,
big deal.
killinallday is in quite a good spot.
With the way this worked out, he now gets a life tap a few times. Because it worked so well, now the 8/8 is gone. Sure, there's a Scorpion. Have your silly little Scorpion. Because now you can start ticketing and life tapping to find that Jiraxis to win the game. Or you can draw it.
Or you can draw it. Boom. Gets to roll Ticketus into Jiraxis, and then Jiraxis right into Yasharaj.
And that's a good thing.
Onyx Mage Scribe, great. That's less value. Hysteria, great. That's more ways to deal with 6/6. Draconic Studies, great. Ogremancer, meh. So overall, decent.
Yep. And the Mage Scribe for Nalguidan is going to end up being, I can tell you now, it's going to end up being frustrating for us and frustrating for himself. Because that will slow down how fast this Jiraxis kills him. But the Jiraxis will almost certainly kill him. It'll be interesting to see if he can generate some tempo like he did against the Demon Hunter. But what we will see now is Jiraxis come down, and Nalguidan's got to find a way to not only kill recurring 6/6s, but build up his home board and not get that board blown up. Into a hand that we can see is really powerful from Killing, because those strong men are going to get reduced next turn.
Yeah, the only thing is, I guess he has Malagos to draw cards. Okay, he's actually in an okay spot. He's life tapped like what, once this game?
Yeah.
So he's kind of low on resources. So he's going to win in fatigue, but may not be able to win in like just straight up answers. But I think that's okay. Nalguidan just trying to find a way to pressure. Is going to go for the Venomous Scorpion. He's going to keep it alive, so that's important. But it will die to Drax in the following turn, regardless. And coin, did he get anything off with the coin? Just a hero power. Okay. Doesn't want to use any more resources than he has to at this point, knowing that killinallday does have that kind of start.
Yeah, now you're just hoping that Killing has a whole load of nothing, but you see this, yeah, the closed eyes and the pained expression say it all.
Yeah, I wonder if you just play both strongmen here because you have Yasharaj. Just unload again.
Got to be tempting, right? Yeah.
Yeah, why not? He's just emptying his hand. That's funny.
This gives your opponent a chance to high roll the Hysteria, so I might only play one there. Because the priest is looking to high roll, right?
Yeah, he saw Hysteria burned, so maybe he's thinking that, oh, I'm fine. Like, if he plays the second Hysteria, cool. I'm making a 6/6 every turn. That's just one of the things you can use to kill some 6/6s. Honestly, this is like the picture-perfect demonstration of like Warlock domination. Still a chance for Nalguidan, right? He could still get pressure rolling at some point. You know, maybe Killen finds this awkward situation where not being able to life tap early on in the game is going to hurt him.
And there's a problem here. The Psyche split onto the Death Rattle does give some sort of sticky board coming up. Bye-bye, Zarella. Okay, this is just getting grim. But yeah, getting those sticky Death Rattles, then be able to copy them, and Killen only having minion removal means that Nalguidan can stick a board, maybe. But look at the size he's against, yeah.
Yeah, and at any point, Killen, because he's so far ahead in fatigue at the moment, he's got 5 Soul Fragments in deck, so he's got 15 natural cards, versus Nalguidan 7. It means he's 8 cards ahead in fatigue. So even if he plays Malygos with 3 cards in hand, he'll draw 7 spells. Some of them could be Soul Fragments. He'll draw 7 cards, right? Because even if the Soul Fragment happens, another spell will come or another minion. It just draws a card. It cycles through the effect. Even with that, he'd still be a card ahead in fatigue.
Wow. And he's got, yeah, another ticket is to come anyway. I was rude to you earlier, TJ, about this Swampoos, joking that in Priest, you know, you don't need the healing. But this Swampoo is going to heal for 18.
Yeah, that's quite good.
Yeah, I take it back. I take back my rudeness.
Yeah, that's actually insane, to be honest.
A lot of healing. I think we might see the Psyche split first, though. Get yourself another Death Rattle minion. Be nice, I think.
Yep, big board.
Idler Yashaj could be handy if he can rip a Samuro with it.
He burned Samuro.
Then he won't get that one.
Yeah. So I think there's just Malygos, because this is 6 cards. So even with 6 cards, considering there's 5 Soul Fragments in the deck, he's still 2 cards ahead in fatigue.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs to get ways to make sure he can't die in sort of 2 or 3 turns by some tragic accident. So pick up that removal stuff that's in your deck. I think you're right. And you've calculated it nicely for us that he's okay to do this. So yeah, absolutely. Get those cascading disasters back.
Yep. And Malygos, of course, says fill your hand with spells, draw spells until your hand is full, but Soul Fragment is considered a spell, but then it also has you draw a card when cast, so it can draw a minion. That's why you see minions come into his hand and not just all spells.
Not just any old minion, TJ, but Tariel Rome that goes really well with all the spells he just drew.
Tamsin?
Tamsin, yeah. I don't know why I said Tariel.
It's a mix between Tamsin and Cariel. Tariel.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, this is still looking okay for Killen, though he might have to kind of pull the trigger on Twisting Nether earlier than he may have liked. Right,
yeah.
Twisting Nether, you usually want to save that for like the end-all, be-all. Though in this situation, it's actually not that bad because he can Twisting Nether, which corrupts the double Cascading Disaster, has a Siphon Soul as well to corrupt them to 3, and then has Tamsin Rome to like refill with Cascading Disasters. So each turn is just going to be for Killen about using the minimum amount of removal as he can, and then making a 6/6. That's it. That's the plan.
And I think we should credit Nalguidan here actually for how he's building these boards over and over again and finding the best ways to get tempo up there, because he has managed to retain those conditions we were talking about of, you know, you've got to stay ahead on board, you've got to keep killing the stuff, you've got to not get too far behind on cards. He's obviously, you know, massively up against it here, but he's doing a pretty good job of at least making Killen have to work for it on. You know, maybe he gets a bad run of draws, which just isn't happening. And if he did get a bad run of draws, then maybe Nalguidan could have snuck a win, you know? He's done a good job of this.
Yeah, he has. Certainly.
So much to do.
On, silly.
Finally gets to play the Swampoos 4 swings later than he, when he drew it. That's irritating to him, but he's had other things to worry about all that time.
And I don't think Killen's too concerned about the Blood Fury at this point. Obviously, it's great for board control, but just the fact that he was, swinging face quite aggressively means that he knew that, Ooze was a possibility at any point in the game, and he was just trying to eke every little bit of value out of it. So again, 6/6 every turn for Killen, as well as try and utilize the least amount of resources to deal with each individual board. Can start to get a little bit tough once Nalguidan starts picking up some big resources, but Nalguidan only has 4 cards left, and there was a lot of those recurring resources. Ooh. Altar of Fire is very interesting because Killen does have a lot of garbage left in his deck, and he can also shuffle in Soul Fragments next turn before he plays Altar of Fire and destroy the last 3 cards of Nalguidan's deck and not accelerate his own fatigue as much. I actually really like Altar of Fire here. Not to be played this turn, but to be shuffled in with Soul Fragments next turn. Like you play like Soul Shear, School Spirits, whatever, Lucky Soul Hoarder, and then you Altar of Fire after. It'll destroy the last 3 cards from Nalguidan's deck and maybe even get some Soul Fragments. Or he's just going to do it now. He has 1 Soul Fragment, so it's not that big of a deal. And gets it. All right. Palm Reading, Shadow of Death. So last card is Venomous Scorpid.
So the problem here is, again, Nalguidan could, Mind Render, steal as much stuff as he likes. He can have 30 mana if he wanted it, and he still can't deal with these 6/6s that are coming every single turn.
Okay, I mean, Hysteria is okay, but I just...
Draconic Study.
He has no cards, and no Draconic Study is the only way he has to do anything.
Get a dragon from the next set. Maybe that'll do it. Because I don't think any of the dragons from this set do. Maybe a Sira. No, that's the problem. When you're the priest in this spot, everything is maybe, but the answer is always no.
What haste?
Okay, what is it going to be? It's a surprise to us. Shadowward Ruin. All right, that kills a lot of 6/6s.
Yeah, but only for 1 turn. Can't just leave it on the board as a 6/6 killer. That'd be good. I'd like that card in Priest.
Wait, Shadowward Ruin, it's just a card that just kills 6/6s whenever they're spawn?
Yep. Shadow Word 6. To go with your Shadow Word 4 from a couple of weeks ago. Can you think of a better dragon than Ysera? Because I can't.
No.
Proto-Dragon, maybe?
Onyx Mage Scribe into 2 more Draconic Studies.
Alright, sure. Yeah, just keep doing it. It's like the old... The genie gives you 3 wishes. What do you wish for? I want more wishes.
Yep, I want more dragons. That's my answer.
Yep.
And we'll never know what they are.
Which is probably for the best.
Oh, there we go. Brightwing.
Bottom right wing.
Gotta be Brightwing. He needs a miracle here. Brightwing into Envoy Rustwix.
Yes, that's actually a thing that would be okay.
All right, let's see it. Nope.
Malygos, the Conceder.
You don't pick the one, silly.
I think Killing just mouthed, what is it, what is it? Nalguidan's torturing him. Not for much longer, though.
Yeah, this one is probably going to come to a close really soon, unless this Renew can pick up Another Draconic Studies, which picks up an Onyx Mage Scribe, which then he's out of spells, so can't even get Onyx Mage Scribe value. Oh, I can Shadowward Ruin. Okay. I take that back. I will politely rescind my previous statement.
Thank you. I was going to tell Killin and Nalguidan that you were saying that this was unwinnable for the priest, and they were going to ridicule you.
I mean, it is essentially. This has to be the best renew ever in the history of renews. Is it the best renew ever? Let's see it.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's still
Wait,
not
what?
enough.
Yeah. Okay, you can palm reading.
Exactly. Into
Draconic Studies.
That's it. That's all we've got. Draconic Studies into Mage Scribe into taking 27.
Into Brightwing, into Envoy Rustwicks.
Yes.
Oh.
Raised Egg into Brightwing. We're playing that game again, aren't we?
Yep.
6 degrees of Envoy Rustwicks.
All right. So I'm just going to check out the hand real quick.
It is finished. You win.
And concede. Yeah, you don't win from that spot. And Killin, again, I mean, that's just kind of a textbook game and a textbook draw sequence for Killin in that game of why that's such a difficult matchup for Priest. Having Sociologist Militia into Corrupted Ticketus, into Jiraxis, into Yasharaj. That was his 7, 8, 9, 10 curve. And then the Malagos to make up for the fact that he wasn't life tapping because he was drawing all those cards. I mean, that's just how the deck is designed, is built to function against Priest. That's why it's a deck that's brought to Last Hero Standing. So, well done by Killin. But just goes to show you, Last Hero Standing prep pays off. Now we move into the last game of the series. And this is going to be a tough one, I think, for the Warlock. It is Token Druid versus Control Warlock.
This is his payoff. This is the payoff for winning game number 1 all that time ago. And this is what he got for it. He gets this game 5 with a favourable because he got to queue a win with his Priest before it got tortured to death by the Warlock and so on. Everything works out in his favour. And now, through winning that fairly close first game, his reward is an advantage, not a win, in game number 5.
Yeah. Yep. But this is cool how Last Hero Standing series play out like this, right? When both players have lineups that are designed with, a specific strategy in mind, which Killin's obviously was, because he does have some decks that are a little bit out there, like OTK Demon Hunter and the Control Warlock. So this one depends on, you kind of need like early board and School Spirits and Tamsin Rome. Like it's really difficult to find every answer against Token Druid because they have so many board refills. So we'll see if Killing All Day can do it. But I feel like every time we've watched Token Druid versus Control Warlock, they might put up a little bit of a fight in the early game, but as soon as like that second, third wave of threats comes down, they just flop over.
It's a timing thing, isn't it? It's the fact that the Druid doesn't give you time to breathe between the reloads. It's not like it's got 3 big boards over 15 turns. It goes turn 4 bang, turn 5 bang, turn 6 bang, and if you don't deal with all 3 of those, you've probably lost the game because your Ticketus means nothing to me because what turn does Ticketus come down? Like 8 or something? The game's done.
Yeah. There's some scenarios where the game's not done, right? But that usually depends on the Token Druid having a terrible start. Which can happen, right? Token Druid's a deck that can beat itself. Nalguidan not on coin, Killing All Day with School Spirits already in opening hand.
And Nalguidan with nothing, so obviously this is the start that makes this interesting, depending on what 3 cards Nalguidan gets now. He would obviously like the coin as well, because that functions well with Gibberling, so looks like this might be sort of 50-50 from this point onwards, TJ.
Yeah, I'm curious what else Killing All Day decides to keep. There's an argument for keeping Venomous Scorpid because you can find additional removal. As I mentioned, you do need more removal. With School Spirits in hand, there's also sometimes you can get away if your hand is perfect keeping Sociologist Militia because it's just a fantastic card and can help you deal with that second, third board state.
I'm going to make myself look silly. I'm going to say you keep all 4 of these cards.
No, you only keep 1, 3. Okay, yeah. So definitely not Lucky Soul Hoarder. What did he get? What did he hit off the mulligan?
Got the second School Spirits.
Ooh, okay, just missing a Tamsin Rome, and he is cooking with fire.
Indeed. And the great thing about Hearthstone is Nalguidan doesn't know the hurry that he needs here, so Arbor Up is the natural choice, I feel, to give yourself some mid-game or closing buffs.
I mean, this Warlock hand is just legitimately disgusting.
Yeah, that's why I was suggesting, I don't mind being wrong either, keeping the 3/4 because you have very little to do in the first turn or two, so I just like having a 3/4 out there. It's just automatically killing 1 minion, which can be enough to buy you some time.
Well, there's too many 3s, and if you're keeping Sociologist, I don't think he wants to coin.
Okay, that's fair.
And so if you're not coining, then that second 3-drop, it's like, when does it come down, right? Because you're playing usually 3-drop on 3, School Spirits 4, School Spirits 5, coin Militia on 7. So, like, with that in mind, I think that keeping the second 3, especially uncorrupted, like also not keeping a reasonable way to corrupt it is a little bit awkward. Now Killen just has to think, all right, do I life tap here, or do I just play the Armor Vendor? So I guess Armor Vendor it is, but coin I think he's going to protect.
That'll be turn 6. Yeah, that's early enough. I quite like that idea of hanging in there. The School Spirits will buy you 1 turn. Scorpion turn will be a bit iffy, but you're allowed 1 iffy moment. Sure, let's go for that.
I must think.
And now Gideon without any card draw is going to be hard pushed in a moment because he does have all that ramp, but it's awful to ramp out without having a follow-up because all the overload just kills you, right, with this deck. You kind of want to overload the turn you play the Arbor Up, not the turn before you go into the Arbor Up.
Yeah. And if he Lighted Boom there, he would not have had reasonable follow-up, so... Demonic Studies? Alright, Unstable Fumble, just more removal. I'll take it.
One of the things about this Druid deck, I feel that you don't need to kill every minion nicer, and usually you either kill them all or none. It's just kind of how AoE decks work, but if you can kill 2 or 3 minions, that's often enough to buy you more time or enough time or to finish the Druid off, especially later in the game when the Druid on their 2nd or 3rd wave. Sometimes those later waves can be picked apart a little bit, although nothing's getting picked apart here. Now Gideon is going to have so many cards starting next turn. His only issue, or one of his main issues, is going to be, is it going to be too late?
Yeah, it's usually, I mean, there's also one, like, it's not an upside, right, but a very small benefit to going super slow like this, as long as you're hitting card draw and not just going super slow because you're not doing anything, is if you're not getting these big waves out there early, sometimes you just hold on to everything and then go for, like, a way to play around even multiple waves of removal with a single board.
Yeah, this is fine because it's not really committing to anything. It's setting up an amazing Arbor Up. But if this goes wrong, he's got a choice. He's still got the fungal to reload with and just do it all again. Or he can Glowfly Swarm for what? Probably 5? He might consider that's enough as well, with a fungal in hand to reload. Kind of cool.
So many possibilities.
If I'm killing, I want an excuse to School Spirits, honestly. because he School Spirits is this, School Spirits the next one, and then plays Sociologist Militia. He wants those soul fragments in his deck.
Yes. Absolutely. I think both players are playing it right. Sometimes it's hard to convey, isn't it, that if both players are playing right, somebody's winning and somebody's losing. But I feel like both players are playing this correctly, and there's not been much room for even arguing about that. Maybe this next turn is a tough one.
I must.
Whether you Glowfly now, if is that enough, or do you Fungal? But I like this. It's not going to work, but I like this. I think the whole point is to get wave after wave.
And he has wave after wave. All right, second School Spirits. Is he planning on life tapping? Because if he's planning on life tapping, okay, he's not. I was going to say I think the life tap should have come out first, but I think he just wants to make sure that this Sociologist is still fully juiced. There's a chance that he may not play it next turn if he wants to like hold on to coin and play it reactively, but I mean, it does corrupt like Cascading Disaster too. It just gives him so many options, and Druid just doesn't have a removal, especially after already seeing a Lunar Eclipse, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you do.
He's probably going to play it. Another wave.
It is a wave, but it's almost a wave goodbye this time. And it was a hard decision, this one, because you don't want your Arbor up to be the minions. You want it to be the buff with some minions thrown in. And Killing gets to turn it all around. And we know from Druid Mirrors that when you lose the board and your opponent gets a board, things start going badly for you as the Druid.
He doesn't need to play Sociologist this turn.
Okay. Thinking, what are you?
Soul Shear, Unstable Fellbolt. Or you start off with Cascading Disaster to try and hit one of the bigger ones. Nah, I don't know. Or Unstable Fellbolt and then Siphon Soul. Because the Cascading Disaster is not corrupted at all, I do not believe. Oh, okay. And he's going to put a minion in the way. Just shuffling max soul fragments also, meaning the Sociologist will be fully juiced. Because now there are 8 soul fragments in the deck, so even if he draws 2 of them next turn, Sociologist is just going to get there.
Kept that, right? So now Nalguidan knows that there's something bad happening, even if he thinks it's a nether.
Yeah. Okay, so could go Lightning Bloom, Marsul Cub, Solar Eclipse, Arbor up?
Yeah, I like it. Like, I think he knows that probably loses.
Whoa!
Anyway, so you've got to do it quicker than, rather than later. You just do it. You never get a better shot than this.
Yep. And still almost a full clear for Killing All Day, unless he draws a lot of soul fragments here. Alright, only drew 1. So that is 7 soul fragments left in the deck, so can trade in this 3/4 and then get a full board of rushers and kill almost everything.
Right. Pretty silly. Yeah, he
silly indeed.
Now, Nalguidan knew, but he also had his best shot, and that was the time to go for it for absolute sure. You do overkill here. You don't want them to leave them with 2 minions that can somehow have an accident and finish you off.
Yeah.
Like leaving 2 6/1s might be the right play in some situations, but not this one. Yeah.
It's brutal.
You can top deck Gibberling next turn. And then he gets Soul of the Forest on them?
Yeah, actually has both Gibberlings still in the deck.
Yeah.
So, still a chance. The problem is Killing All Day gets to have a whole turn of development in a situation where, you know, he is actually has mana to spend on some of his bigger things, right? So Ogremancer will essentially shut down everything after being traded into. Ooh, pick less and Glowfly Swarm. There was actually only 4 cards in his whole deck remaining. I guess it's not that much, right? There were 5 1-drops, or 5 that were less than 2 and 4 that were more than 2. So it's just correct for him to pick less, so a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, he's also trying to specifically hit certain cards, I guess. Oh no, that doesn't matter. It only matters if you actually got any mana left.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do take the odds.
Okay. And I would think Ogremancer over Jiraxis here. Jiraxis
actually,
does not build a board.
Guessing weight was
What?
wrong there. He should have waited. And if he doesn't hit Gibberling, he should guess the weight and go lower, whatever. And try and draw it.
Does the sequence matter?
Well, you can draw it on that turn, so you can actually play it that turn.
Well, that's assuming he specifically wants to hit Gibberling, right? Which there's other good stuff. He could hit Guidance, Nature Studies, all things that that could be good. Glowfly Swarm also just good. And, you know, no matter when he plays it, he's always just going to pick the mathematically correct choice because drawing a card is better than trying to find something specific and not drawing it unless you are dead and need one thing. All right, still a problem for Killen.
Yeah.
To try and kill as many individual things as possible, like leave the least amount of things on board that he can. So that's that kills 3, and then
It's the burst that kills you, isn't it? Not the tallness. So yeah.
Yeah, I like isolating these two with the taunts because he's still going to leave at least 1 minion up. Okay, Solar Eclipse Arbor up. This is a full board again.
Yeah, there are things you can throw in.
Wait.
You throw in an Adorable. Is it worth it?
Actually, I don't think it's that simple. I think he needs to try and hit as many minions as possible with this because he doesn't want to strand his Soul of the Forest, right?
Yeah, how about Adorable, play the Adorable, play the Power of the Wild as a minion, Solar Eclipse Soul.
It's a little bit redundant because he already has Soul of the Forest on the minions that he has on board.
Sure.
Maybe, though. Okay, he's just going to go Solar Eclipse Arbor up.
Sure. I mean,
I guess just build the last board.
Yeah.
Then Power of the Wild too. All right.
So are you really going to keep clearing these boards? I don't need a soul because these boards, surely, one day, you'll stop harassing my boards and you'll just let me hit you in the face for 1 million. This time, if he doesn't clear, he does get a soul on the remaining things, if it's not just a lethal. And there's still those 2 Gibberlings left as well. That's good. How many boards did we say they make, TJ? 2 or 3, maybe 4? This is like number 6 or something.
Yeah. Okay, then Coin Cascade Disaster. This one's at 2.
Okay.
So he wants to hit 2 of the big ones and not the Soul of the Forest ones. Okay, hit 1 of the Soul of the Forest ones. But still has enough things isolated so that his he trades the Ogremancer over the 2/2, and then there's not enough attacks to get through the Ogremancer. Still.
Yeah, there's... I don't know how many Lunars are left, but not many. Because there's only 2 starting there, so just leave the 2...
There's 1 Lunar. Yeah, there's 1 Lunar. Here, these are the remaining cards for Nalguidan.
Thank you.
Nature Study's good. Guidance good. Anything that discovers stuff is good at this stage because he doesn't have any more card draw left. So like the card he picks up is it. But he will be able to get Soul of the Forest down on this board. But then this will essentially be his last board. So
it's a big one though with Price Fury as well. He probably saves that actually for after the Soul of the Forest. Might depend how he sees these key numbers.
Intriguing.
Cards left that Killen's looking for is I don't even know. Malagos.
Nether's
He only plays one Nether in the deck.
Ah, okay.
Shadowhunter Vol'jin could be okay, but Nalguidan's all in.
Killian's not far off all in himself, really. When you look at the hand, none of those cards do anything.
Ooh.
So.
I mean, another Ogremancer is decent. Problem is that
spells.
well, no, yeah, you're right.
That's it. He doesn't need to play any more spells until you make him, and you can't make him.
Okay, strong man. Gonna draw with the Lucky Soul Hoarder. It is corrupted.
Summon, not you.
All right. Innervate, dead draw.
I mean, yeah, in a way, everything was a dead draw anyway, because double Ogremancer is just more hassle than it's worth at this point. He's got to not die.
Well, he could make the trades first, right, and then and then play. So like Guidance could have been sick. Nature Studies could have been sick.
So this is quite interesting because he wants to kill off as many things as he dare, but he wants to make sure he doesn't mess up 2-turn lethal. And he wants to have that 2-turn lethal even with a board of 2/2s as well. So ideal world, Killian will be on 11 or fewer. Real world, he may have to leave him a bit higher than that. And maybe put the 2/8s into the face, plus my hero power into the face. That leaves my opponent on 11, which means if they kill everything, but I leave left with all the 2/2s, next turn's still a win. That's how I would go about this. Or you just whack them with everything, and then you don't have to win. Now only one thing needs to connect next turn.
So many possibilities.
Can he go like Drax's Strongman Armor Vendor?
That puts him on what? 9, 12? And then
13 with 7 points of taunt or 6 points of taunt in the way. So one of the minions has to go through taunt. He gets to keep both of his Ogremancer's alive because he can go weapon over a 2/2, Ogremancer over a 2/2, Lucky Soul Hoarder, and Ogremancer over a 3. So he isolates 3 minions. Nope. I guess he calculated it and it wasn't there.
oh, the Malagos. Too late. Think.
I think he's alive. Oh no, he didn't get Strongman down. Never mind. He's
Turbo dead.
he's not alive. Yeah, he's dead.
Ah, it's
At
been
12.
a great week for Killian, TJ. Your man.
No, I spare you're here, Nalguidan. You're good. Don't worry.
You're never gonna let that go, are you?
Wow, that was an insane Druid game from Nalguidan, honestly. Just board after board after board. And obviously when you're building a Warlock deck to try and beat Priest, you're sacrificing things elsewhere, right? The lack of access to a second Twisting Nether hurt Killen's ability to draw that in the late game. And even though he had pretty much the ideal hand, right, for dealing with Token Druid threats, double School Spirits, into Sociologist, fully juiced onto the Arbor up turn, like just great, but just didn't have the closing power, right? Didn't have the staying power with the amount of removal that was in the deck. So very nicely done by Nalguidan. That's a tough matchup to get through with that opening. And he'll move on to the finals. killinallday's run will end there, and he will go away at the end of this week with what, 8 points?
Yes, he's done really well. Like he's pulled himself 2 points ahead of Muzzy, who is the highest rated member of that relegation zone. He's a point above Language Hacker. He's level with Tincho. Pick up a point or two next week, then he should be okay. He's left it nicely in the realms of the realistic, I want to say. You know, getting 1 or 2 points is realistic. Getting 5 is possible, but it's not what you expect in this field.